Today we're going to take a look at this, the Amazfit Band 5, and why this is the fitness tracker that I've been waiting for. Welcome back to another episode of STU'S Reviews. The Amazfit Band 5 has pretty much just been released, and now normally I'd have a little bit of a chat with you before diving into specs. Today I want to dive straight into those specs because there is a huge elephant in the room, and some of you keen-eyed viewers might already have spotted it. So let's dive in and take a look at those specs. This is the Amazfit Band 5. It's a small and simple lightweight tracker that sits inside a removable silicone band designed to be unobtrusive and fit a variety of different wrist sizes. It's waterproof down to a depth of 50 meters and can track swimming activities alongside 10 other activity types. It features huami's BioTracker 2 system to track activity, also featuring an advanced heart rate and blood oxygen sensor. The battery is a small 125 mAh capacity but lasts for around 15 days. The best bit is the screen, a 1.1 inch full colour AMOLED display that really pops. For those of you that haven't spotted it, let me take you back to a couple of months ago when I did a video entitled Why I'm Not Buying the Xiaomi Mi Band 5. And if you haven't seen that video, I'd advise go and watch it because that will give you a little bit more context to why this is the fitness tracker that I've been waiting for. The elephant of this review comes from the fact that some of you may have spotted that this looks nearly identical to the Xiaomi Mi Band 5, and that's because it is almost. There are actually a few small form factor differences that may go unnoticed but are actually different. Firstly, the size. Now, this measurement here on the Mi Band 5 is 46.95, on this it's 47.2 millimeters, so it's a little bit taller in this measurement. Also, the width. The measurement on here is 18.5, whereas on the Mi Band is 18.15, so that's a little bit thinner than this particular device. But on the flip side, this is thinner in its width this way. This is 12.4, whereas the Mi Band is 12.45 millimeters. Also the weight as well. This is 12 kilograms versus the Mi Band, which is 11.9 kilograms. So there are some very subtle differences in the weight and size of this device. But there's also one other form factor difference as well, and that's the little home button on the very bottom of the device. Now on this, it's an oval shape, whereas on the Mi Band, it's a circle shape. Now that literally makes no difference at all, but it is a difference, and I thought I'd point it out. But they are some very small differences. Other than that, the form factor is actually very similar. But that is where the similarities stop in the form, because this has some killer features that sets it miles apart from the Mi Band, especially for users in the UK and the US, and Europe, I guess. Starting at the basics, using the Amazfit Band is really straightforward. You've got a simple operation of a singular button to wake the display, or by raising your wrist. From there, swiping up or down gives you access to all of the simple menu system on the device. And the display is actually pretty crisp, and the watch face customization is pretty endless as well, with the ability to select from a constantly updating watch face catalogue in the companion app. There's literally a watch face for everyone, including people with very little taste. Although actually, ignoring that is a pretty tasteless face, it is animated, and the fact that you can have animated faces on the Amazfit Band is a pretty cool addition. In the menu itself and internal apps, there aren't really that much differences between this and a lot of the other Amazfit devices, although some of the newer additions are stress monitoring and breathing exercises, which focus more on, I guess, mindfulness and mental well-being rather than just physical health. So it's good to see that Amazfit are going towards that as well as sticking with their physical health too. In this menu system, you can also trigger the SpO2 sensor, which is a fantastic deal breaker for people who want an overview of their health. And this was one of the features that was omitted from the international release of the Mi Band 5, and it's fantastic to see it in the Amazfit Band 5 now. And actually, it's really prevalent at the moment because it can help to early diagnose respiratory illnesses such as coronavirus. So it's such an important figure and detail to have about your overall health, and it's great that this has been included in the Amazfit Band 5. And like I said, this is one of the reasons why this is the fitness tracker that I've been waiting for. Other than the generically simple way of interacting with this device, your notifications from either iOS or Android will flash up on the screen whenever your phone gets them. So it's overall a really simplistic and easy device to use. Now on to the next big thing that makes this fitness tracker the fitness tracker I've been waiting for, and that is the fact that Amazon Alexa voice service is built into it. Now for your pleasure, I'm going to blank out the word from the rest of this review with a honking noise probably, or some random noise that I can find, because obviously me saying it over and over again is probably going to trigger all of your devices in your house and cause you some great discomfort. So for your pleasure, that word is gone. This is the second time that Amazfit have partnered with Amazon to use in one of their devices. Previously, they used it in the Amazfit Verge, which was released quite a while back, and actually that didn't even have the functionality at launch. It wasn't until about a year after the Verge was released that Alexa came to it, and that was an awesome addition. And it's great to see this in the Amazfit Band 5 because that was one of the biggest features that was missing from the Mi Band 5 on its international release, and I massively criticised them for that. So it's great to see we've finally got a fitness tracker with a voice assistant built in. Now to use it, all you have to do is go into the app, add your account in the account section, sign in with your Amazon details in there, and you are literally good to go. You simply raise your wrist, swipe to the left to activate it, turn off Studio, and you can see all the lights have gone off, except that one because that's powered just by battery. It's in a weird spot. But I can turn everything back on by going, turn on Studio. And we're back on. In fact, we're a bit brighter, I think. Are we a bit brighter? Was that off? I can't remember if that was off or not. Turn off softbox. I think it looked like that. We'll go with that. The only limitation that I can find with this is that this has no audio response. When you activate it, it does give you a quick vibration on the wrist to let you know that it's ready and listening and it's completed the task you've asked it to do. But if you ask it to, say, find out some information about something, it will only display that in text form like this. Who is Barack Obama? Actually, I've got a call. You can see what it looks like now. I'll have to answer that.
Hello.
Hi, you alright?
I just wanted to ask you, I put that slow cooker on, because just check it's still got like liquid in it, it's not like burning onto the bottom or anything.
Oh, it's probably bubbled over and disintegrated. It's just dust now and ash, probably. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye. Where were we? Oh, right, yes. The fact that the Mi Band 5 didn't have any voice assistant in was a huge criticism of mine, and one of the reasons I said do not buy it, and that's why I'm not going to buy it. But the fact that this has it in, that changes everything, and I absolutely love that feature. So a huge round of applause and several gold stickers from me, Amazfit. Now the companion app this pairs to is called Zep, and I have covered this in a few reviews very recently, so I don't want to go over it too much. But for those of you that have never seen it before, this is what it looks like. It syncs to the watch and displays a bunch of stats that the Amazfit Band can collect, such as heart rate, stress levels, your PI, and daily activity alongside your sleep patterns. When you track an activity from the band, it also gives you a really comprehensive view of that activity. And although it doesn't have GPS built into its tiny little body, if you take your phone with you when you do an exercise, it will use your phone's GPS to calculate the route that you've been on. So you get things even more accurate, and you get a little map in the app to show where you've been and how fast certain segments were during your workout. The app recently has gone through several huge updates, and actually they're improving it very quickly based on a lot of feedback from users. One of the newest additions which I've noticed is the ability to overlay heart rate data on top of sleep data. I mean, it's shocking how little deep sleep I get, but isn't it really interesting that when we look at that deep sleep, you can see my heart rate does a bit of decreasing with a sudden spike in heart rate, which obviously sends me back into light sleep. which I find a really interesting piece of information about my health, and I have literally no idea how to solve it and get more deep sleep, but at least I know that my heart rate likes to spike and wake me up every 2.5 minutes. In my opinion, there's only one feature that the Amazfit Band 5 is lacking, and that is NFC. Now, this is a big criticism that I gave the Mi Band 5, but only because the Chinese version has NFC and you can use it for mobile payments and transport documents and IDs and all that nonsense like that. Whereas the international version, unfortunately, they omitted that feature. So I'm only saying that I wish the Amazfit Band 5 had it because the Mi Band had it in China. And let's face it, they've managed to pack everything else into it, such as the SPO2 sensor and the Amazon voice assistant as well. So it would have been nice if they just managed that NFC too, but I'm sure there's plenty of things like regulations that I don't care to know with financial services that stop mobile payments being easily implemented into third-party apps like Amazfit's. But that could come in the future, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed for it. But that, in my opinion, is only one omission of a feature that I really, really wanted. And it's not like they've built it into any version of it, because it just doesn't have that capability at this moment. So if you're watching this Amazfit, I would love some NFC from you in the future, even if it's just to open it up and let me choose what that NFC does, such as opening smart locks or give my business card to somebody. But I think overall it's absolutely phenomenal value when you consider the amount of tracking options that this thing can do, and it's got a voice assistant in, because on their website at the moment it's just €45, which is about 40 quid. That's incredible value. Actually, really, I haven't got anything bad to say about this device. And that's unusual because you know me, I'm normally quite nitpicky about certain little bits that annoy me. This is just overall a well-built, feature-rich, budget fitness tracker that just is incredible value. And if you live in the UK or the US or Europe, then I think the Amazfit Band 5 is absolutely incredible as a fitness tracker for you, and it gets my wax seal of approval without a doubt. And that concludes today's review. Guys, if you liked today's video, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like button and that subscribe if you're a new viewer. And if you want to see more STU'S reviews, hit that notification bell as well. I'm sure there'll be more Amazfit devices appearing on the channel in future. But other than that, guys, thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you back for another episode of STU'S Reviews soon.